Hello and welcome back to Sports for Dummies. What a AFL round one we just had, Johnny. I mean, historically, the two grand finalists have had the worst start to a season in the history of the AFL. And, I mean, your Blues got up in an absolute thriller at the G. So, Johnny, let's jump straight into it. How are you doing?
Good. Yes, it is the first time in VFL AFL history that the sides from the grand final the year before have gone 0-2. It was the biggest round of football of all time in terms of attendance. 413,000 people went through the gates, beating 400,000 in round one in 2017. So for all the ticketing prices and, you know, the meat pies and the beers, people went and spent money.
They got on the beers. I mean, yeah, after our performance of trying to say, you know, you're perfecting the at-home sort of system, you know, watching the games, it's just surpassed.
I will say, though, I was in level 2, had brilliant seats. Didn't have to line up at all. It was like I was king of the castle. That's how you watch the football. Not up there in fucking in level 4 with the peons and the peasants.
You would have just had Johnny there sitting there, king of the castle,
with my high tea of gin, and it was delicious.
Oh, that's too good. Let's jump straight into it. We had Carlton, Richmond. Johnny, what a game. You were there. Tell us about it.
Well, I'm going to say, so Richmond had, I mean, it is round one, regardless, you know, where both sides are on the ladder. You know, there's going to be a big crowd. It's always going to be a good clash. I'm very disappointed, and this is going to sound like I'm salty because I'm not, because I've been going for Carlton through the 21st century, and I've never made excuses on to how shit we have been. Never blamed the umpires or anything. We've just been no good. The umpires, I don't know if the AFL love Richmond or whatnot. We completely outclassed them in that first quarter, and they gave Tom Lynch 2 free kicks for nothing because they thought it was like, this is going to be a blowout. Let's just keep it on. Just purposely influencing the game. It was an absolute disgrace from there. From there, it was a tug of war back and forth, and we eventually got the chocolates.
Can I just say, you guys had 24 free kicks to 17 Richmond.
It's got nothing to do with when the free kicks are paid. It's not how many. It's it's the moments.
Okay.
They got 2. Tom Lynch wasn't going near the football.
So
2 free
I've heard
kicks.
2 different stories. So I hear from Richmond supporters that they were dudded by the umpires.
Oh, hang on. This was the most quiet Richmond crowd I've ever seen. They kicked 5 goals almost in a row in that first quarter after we were dominating them. They were super quiet because everyone was like, who even wants to watch this game? The umpires are just making whatever free kicks they want. They know they didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve it. Right. Now in terms of a game,
I'm gonna run through the game and the stats just quickly.
Go.
Just before.
Go.
All right. So obviously Carlton got up 86 to Richmond 81. Both kicked. I mean, Carlton 12 goals, 14 points. Richmond 12 goals, 9 behinds. You had Mackay with 3 goals, Owies 2 goals, Curnow 2 goals. Leading possession getters for Carlton were Cripps 31, McGovern 26, and Sard 24. Over with Richmond, you had the goal kickers Bolter 3, Martin 2, Lynch 2, disposal getters Hopper 25, Loston 24, and Bolter 23. So Noel Bolter, good addition for the Richmond Football Club.
He was absolutely super. He was super. For a guy that size, he is so nimble. He really caused us a lot of headaches. What I did like about our Blues is we are very undersized still with no Wiedering and Marchbank. I thought Brodie Kemp played his best game for the club. I thought he was absolutely sensational. And Mitch McGovern has finally got his tank together. He just knows when to go quick, when to go fast, when to go long, when to go short. Thought he was huge. Cripps, again, was absolutely amazing. Harry Mackay, though, that confidence game, he was taking everything. He was kicking them from everywhere.
From everywhere.
But he was kicking the ones where he's straight in front, not just the 45 metres where they have a bit of a lead into it. It was an absolute. It was after the absolute terrible umpiring. It was a very back and forth game. There was a lot of mistakes. Typical of a round one Richmond Carlton clash, and yeah, we were like, we held on and won.
Well, you were correct. You did say it was going to go down to the wire. I thought just after seeing you guys against Brisbane, but that's another story in itself.
I think to your point, because you're not wrong, but I was speaking to someone today. It's round one, so everyone's going to be fired up. They had Martin, Lynch, Curvers back. And it's still round one. You've got the batteries. You the energizer bunnies. If it was round 13,
yeah,
we would have smashed them. But Carlton's last 6 wins have been under a kick.
I did say that.
Is that? Are we taking note from Collingwood? It's
impressive. What it shows is, what's really funny. I mean, Vossi must have sat there last week and gone, oh, it shows maturity that you guys are winning games at the, very close games. Hold up. We've done this, 4 games previously in the previous season.
Well, look, Collingwood in 2022 won all the close ones and said they wouldn't win. They'd get found out in 2023.
Yeah.
They won. Now, I'm not going to say what's happening to them now, but
that's the next game.
We're winning the close ones. We've got a bye now, and then we have North Melbourne, for the Good Friday game. So I would like to think we win that one a bit more comfortably.
Now, that brings us to the next game. You have Collingwood and Sydney. Collingwood definitely not taking the chocolates there. 10 goals, 9 behind, 69 points to Sydney. 15 goals, 12 behind, 102 points. Yeah, the goal kickers, McDonald, 4 goals. Warner, 3 goals. Warner's having a pretty good season, along with Heaney. Heaney, 2 goals. How good's his addition because of Adams... Who's that again? Adams and
Adams is gone, and you've got Parker and
Parker.
Mills.
That's the name I was looking for.
Adams left Collingwood. Adams is injured at the moment.
Then you had Goulden 30 disposals, Heaney 29, Warner 27. Over at Collingwood, you had Schultz and Elliott 2 goals, Bobby Hill 1, and obviously a lot of other players with 1 goal. Yeah, Dacos just doing his usual 35 possession plus games with 37. Pendlebury 26, Maynard 22. Really, 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 in my opinion, just an expedition by Sydney. They just, it was a close game, and then they just ran away with it. Well, they just had it.
And it was looking like Sydney were 1 goal 6 at one point.
Yep.
And then Collingwood kicked a few. Guy kicked an awesome banana in that first quarter, and it was 3 goals to 1. It's like, geez, Sydney have almost kicked themselves out of it. Their pressure is absolutely amazing. And watching that game, the amount of turnovers that from good quality players, I'm talking Dacos, Pendlebury, who normally move with so much time, always hit a target. They were under pressure. There was almost a perceived pressure. But the Swans, so they're
Are you surprised about where they're at the moment with their 2 wins? Because I am. The
Swans?
Yeah, the Swans.
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised with Sydney because 2 years ago they were the clear second best side.
But with their outs?
With their outs, it just shows though Heaney's gone to that another level. He had, what did he have, 27?
29.
2
goals.
He kicked 2 goals. He's doing that dusty DeGoey type where when he needs to, he can go forward and kick goals. Warner kicked 3. Goulden is the best kick in the comp.
By how good's his left foot?
But
it's ridiculous.
The biggest thing for me is their forward line. And I've been saying it for a few years, and this is blasphemous, but Buddy Franklin was at the end of his career. He was too focal for them. They would go to him too often. He has released some absolute opportunities.
Well,
McDonald kicked 4. You've got Warner kicked 3, Heaney kicked 3, but then there's
Did
just
Heaney
heaps
kick 3?
of ones. Heaney kicked 2. Sorry,
I was going to say I got that wrong.
McLean, McKerney, I always get him wrong. Amati.
He got subbed off. You know what's weird though? He got subbed off again. So they subbed him off.
Tactical.
Yeah, I guess it is tactical, but he's a taller key forward, which, if he's not, I guess like you said.
Took a big grab, did what he needed to do.
But McDonald coming out, he's had 2 good games.
Well, he kicked 3. He kicked 3 over the top by himself, running in, and then he took a big grab. They just got this spread, and then you got Parker who's going to come in. He goes to half forward line. You bring Mills, goes to the half back line. You've just got these weapons, and these left footers. Campbell is an absolute star. Collingwood, they've definitely got a premiership hangover. They made a fucking movie for God's sake.
They had it playing straight after too, which I found to be their documentary or their movie, whatever you call it. And you're just like, what are they doing? Like these guys, historically, it's so weird to see the two best teams last year come out. And now I go, you know what? Is it that impressive that Sydney won against, Brisbane? Sorry, not Brisbane.
They beat Melbourne last week.
Carlton. After seeing Brisbane's performance, you're like, gee, is it, but Collingwood as well. They've both got the hangover. It's now becoming it's a bit of a curse.
Collingwood have St Kilda on Thursday night, who are real coast, and that's going to be a real tough game. So that's a no gimme game now. It's a very important game for both sides.
And Saints will match up pretty well after seeing them this week. All right, let's jump into Essendon and Hawthorn. My boys getting up. Unfortunately, couldn't watch this one. Was at work. It had 17 goals, 5 behinds. Kicked it very well and straight.
Great kicking.
Yep, 107 to Hawthorn, 11 goals, 17 points, 83. So Hawthorn definitely had their opportunities.
This game was, Hawthorn were up at three-quarter time. But what I loved seeing about I am not a Essendon fan whatsoever. But Sicily hit Guelphy, gave him a clip on the chops.
Yep.
What happens to that, we'll see. Every single Essendon player went and remonstrated him. It was almost like watching the brawls of the 80s between Essendon and Hawthorn. I haven't seen fire in that from the Bombers in a Bombers game since 2004, the line in the sand. No, well, actually 2009, the line in the sand. Essendon got around. Their young player was hit by the captain of Hawthorn, and they fucking went at him. It was absolutely beautiful to see, and the energy that Essendon play with, especially their younger players, it was really good.
They must have seen our latest video, either in the preview when we did the Dermy Burton with the up against Essendon, because all of a sudden, that whole spark came back. It was good to see. Watching the highlights, the Bombers actually coming back and winning. It should have been a game. In my opinion, I'd had them tipped. It was good to see that they got up.
It's always a danger game against Hawthorn because of the rivalry, but you had McGrath and Merritt with,
I'll run through the disposals if that's all right, Johnny.
You can.
All right, so you had the goal kicker Stringer he was huge. He was huge. He's that pump up player. When he turns on, he makes us win, which he definitely did. Langford 3. I really, really love Langford as a player. For us, he's
like so Carlton have Jay Sauce, who can sort of play any position. That's what Langford is for you guys, but he's better on the offensive side.
100%.
He's fantastic. But Peter Wright, for me, coming back into your side, just gives you that structure.
Yeah, we need
you can
him.
Play around.
We need Peter Wright. If we don't have him, and he kicked his 2. You had leading disposal getters, McGrath 33, Merritt 31, Martin 25. Over at Hawthorn, you had the goal kickers, Moore with 3, Guinea and Chol with 2. So they had Guinea and Chol first game for Hawthorn in the Hawthorn colours, coming in and, contributing 4 goals. So I'm pretty certain it was a pretty good moment for everyone watching Guinea come in and kick his first bag for him.
He was really good early. He was really good early. Gave him a lot of spark.
Then disposals, you had D'Ambrose. Oh, my goodness. D'Ambrosio? I don't know. You know what? We're not going with that. 29. Yep. Warple 28. McDonald 22. So, good, solid win by the Bombers. Pretty happy. I'm not going to get excited this year for the Bombers. It's that race to 17 premierships. Everyone's gone, it's great to see. It's like, hold up. It's a long season. This is the first game. We got a lot more to play and a lot more to give and a lot more to prove.
What you should be happy though, Josh. You had McGrath and Merritt. Your normal ones getting 30 touches. Parrish didn't play. I thought Perkins played the best game he's ever played in his life. 24 touches, kicked 2 goals. He was in everything. He's good with the ball in hand. Martin continues to get better every time I see him. This is where Stringer's so important, and you touched on that when we did the preview. He's that barometer. Yeah. If he can bring this every single week, and that's his problem. Since the Dogs, he doesn't bring it every week.
He's our heat check. We need him playing like you said.
If he can do that, crashing packs, kicking big goals, I'm never like watching the Bombers. I'm very biased against them, but there was a lot to like about them. And as I said, that moment when Sicily hits Guelphy and you all got it, I'm like, okay. Essendon are going for it this year.
Yeah.
Where they finish, who knows? But they want to win it. They want to play. They want to make the 8 this year.
We want to, and we have to. We have to. I know they had that pressure, but it's good. Like you said, you're right. Got to be more optimistic.
Yeah.
It's good to see them come out with a bit of passion, bit of flavour, and go, you know what? We're here to play. So it's good. Good win. First win on the board. Let's keep it up, the Dons. Then we had the Giants and North Melbourne. Giants getting up 17 goals, 19, 121 to 13 goals, 482. The North Melbourne Football Club. You had goal kickers, Hogan with a bag of 6, so he's leading the Coleman out right now. Riccardi with 3, Josh Kelly with 2, Tom Green 37 disposals, Cornelio 30, Whitfield 29. You had Lucky with 3, Stevenson with 2, Dersma in his first got 2, Sheasel 32 disposals. He's a gun.
He was very good.
Davis Uniacke 29 and Powell with 26.
Well, that was the Giants. I mean, North were really good in that first half. There is a lot to like about this young North Melbourne side. Sheasel, Uniacke, we know they're good. Really liked Paul Curtis's performance. He kicked 2 goals and set up a few in that first half. Dersma in his first game, 2 goals. GWS are just too good.
Yeah.
Are they the most attractive side to watch? Like, they played like they were absolute millionaires. Their transition football is as good as any. What's scary is I actually rate their toughness about them. They're almost the best side on the release. They're absolutely fantastic. And Hogan and Riccardi are just moving absolutely beautifully. North, I'm actually really impressed with how close North got there. In the third quarter, GWS just put North Melbourne to bed.
Yeah.
But they were within a couple of kicks. They were really sticking with them. Lot to like about North Melbourne.
Even this, like you said, the scoreline doesn't really reflect. I mean, look where Collingwood ended up with GWS.
Yeah.
So North should have a lot of confidence to take away from that game and go, you know what, guys, we can actually put in good 4 quarters. I think they're going to get it together this year. They're going to be a team, like we said, they're on the up. I think having their new coach, and it's their year where they can really, really rebuild.
What was huge for GWS is Perryman came back in the side and he only had the 15, but Jesus, he was hitting targets left, right, and centre. They just got this polish.
Those Sydney teams have got polish.
The Sydney sides right now are the scariest sides. I know Carlton are undefeated, but it is. The start of the year,
undefeated.
But Black is in 2-0.
I'm
GWS Sydney. I don't want to play them.
You know what? You guys are scary when you have a full man squad. The scary thing is they have full man squad. Actually, Sydney is 3 players down.
Don't.
But GWS, they're ready. They're ready for the granny.
They're tough, but they're silky. And the Swans are like that too.
I like Swans better than GWS at the moment just because of how good their disposals are.
GWS are just as good.
No, I know. I'm just saying, I reckon Gordon's up there to win a Brownlow this year. I reckon he could be. And Heaney, arguably, he would be polling with votes.
How much would the AFL love that?
Oh, Heaney's a poster boy for the AFL. If he gets the Brownlow, that's like
mate. He looks like Hitler would have loved him. Absolutely would have loved him. Absolutely, just he's genetic god. But GWS and Sydney, imagine that you got the 2 Sydney sides in a granny. They would love that. They would love that, and they're doing very well.
Yep. That brings us to, which was a very, very close game, Geelong versus St Kilda. Now, Geelong took out the cake with a cracking goal by Paddy Dangerfield, the captain. Really, really took over. Went, boys, you know what, 50 metres out. I normally don't kick these, but get back to you. Walk back, go to the line. I'm kicking this straight through. It was a good left to right, and he slotted it. So they got up 10 goals, 16 points, 76 to St Kilda. 9 goals, 14 points, 68. So they really did take it to them down at their home game. Yeah, Dempsey with 3 goals, Cameron with 2. Cameron's goal. Cameron, mate, that guy's a freak.
He's 2 goals.
Oh, mate.
He kicked the first one from the buddy pocket, following it up from the wing, and then he kicks this massive hook, 5 minutes later.
Ridiculous. Then you had Tui with the 1, and you had a fair few other players with 1. Danger had 25, Holmes 23, Duncan 23. You had Membry with 3 goals, Wilson 2 goals, Max King with 2 goals. Now, I'm going to be very critical. Max King, there were so many moments in that third and fourth quarter where you could have passed the bloody ball, yet you went for goal and you absolutely missed everything. There were so many opportunities.
He kicked a couple of good.
I didn't take down the score thing. I was pissed. I was watching this here with my mates and we all went, you know what? The other King up at Gold Coast, better. Max King, that was shit. Like, there were so many, he burnt players and you're looking at it going, there was a guy running straight into an open goal. Really, really critical point in the game. I think it's the start of the fourth. It's a goal to get them up. Just fucking goes for it. Kicks it on the full from 50 out. What are you going for, mate? If I was Ross Lyon, I would have dragged him. Sent a fucking message and been like, nah, you can't do that sort of stuff in this. We're playing the AFL. It's a team sport. You're not playing the NBA where there's only 5 on the court, mate. Pass the ball. Stop being a typical full forward and not even kick. You know what? If you're going to take the shot, make sure you deliver it straight through the middle. It's simple.
I like that. Good little rant. I thought Geelong were really good. The addition of Dempsey, he kicked 3 goals. He set up just as many. That was a hard struggle. Geelong looked like they were comfortable for most of the game, but the Saints just were never out of it.
Well, Dempsey kicked 6 in his VFL granny.
Yeah, and
so he got himself a spot in the AFL.
But it didn't look like Hawkins didn't kick a bag. Like, there was a lot of spread from Geelong. I thought that was really good because
Hawkins barely had any impact.
He kicked that one at the end.
Nice and easy.
That was he had to take the grab. But I just thought there was not the reliance that what we're used to seeing, which was really good. Now, I have a bone to pick with one of my mates. They had the balls to say to me that Patrick Dangerfield is not a top 50 player in the AFL.
Now?
No.
In all time?
No, now.
What?
You cannot name 49 better people than Patrick because he had a couple of injuries last year. He only just came runner-up in the Norm Smith Medal the year before and had one of his greatest finals series of all time. You cannot name 49 players better than Patrick fucking Dangerfield. And what did he do? He had 25 touches.
Kicked the winning goal.
Goes back with the flight, takes a big grab and goes clutch. You guys need to watch your football better if you think if someone has a year off, have a few games off of a year because of injury, and you think there are 49 players who could go head-to-head with Patrick Dangerfield right now, you're absolutely out of your mind.
You know what? One-on-one, he is a bull. He's still a bull. He's electric. He runs.
He's best on ground.
100%. Head over the ball. But not only that, when the moment mattered, and I'll be honest, and it was funny, I think post-game, one of the players for the Cats is standing next to, I think it was Holmes, standing next to Paddy. And when Paddy goes to the guys, he took the mark and he went, I'm going for it. And he's about 50 out and you're going, Paddy on the set shot. And he literally said, he's like, I wasn't confident about him kicking that goal. And he goes, oh, thanks, mate. Like to Holmes, like Paddy's like, cheers, mate. He goes, I never had any doubt. And it was such a moment where he had this just sheer confidence, took the mark and went, going back, we're a minute out. All right, kicking it. And it was just like, hey, if I miss it, they've got a chance to rebound and actually get it back. No, not letting that happen, guys. Kicking the goal and winning the game for us. And it was huge. Like, yeah, I mean, standout performance. He's definitely a top 50 player, arguably top 10. I'm talking
about this guy has had one of the best careers we've seen in our lifetime. 2022, especially the second half in that final series. And that grand final, he arguably should have been the Norm Smith medal because
100%.
His first quarter was absolutely phenomenal when the game was on the line. To say he's not a top 50 player because he had an average year last year, absolutely ridiculous. Saints, lot to like about them. We're not throwing them out. I thought Membry was huge for them. Wilson in his first game kicked a couple. I thought King was all right. I know he burnt a few. He kicked a couple of goals. I thought they were pretty important at times. Wanganeen Malira was absolutely fantastic. But I think Geelong were just too good, but they only won by a kick.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't for the celebration. I mean, a win's a win. So I'm not going to take that away. I think it's Brad Scott, isn't it? No, Chris Scott. Brad Scott's the one that coaches at Essendon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say I always get the Scotts confused.
They are identical.
I know. Regardless, For Geelong, you probably wouldn't have been too happy, but Old Legs, you know, it was good to see they put the Joel Selwood stand up.
Yeah, it was cool.
They pumped it up, and I think Joel Selwood loved that. You could just see him smirking ear to ear. I think they would have wanted to have won by more, but realistically, a win's a win. So you're going to take it, you're going to run with it, use that momentum. If you keep getting wins like that, if you got 23 of them every year, mate,
the competition's even.
Done. Yeah. So it's very, very even. Now then you had the Gold Coast Suns play Adelaide that evening. What a close game.
But it wasn't a close game.
I know, but Adelaide came back.
Like there was 6 goals. Adelaide kicked more in the last quarter than they did the whole game. And it was shocking conditions. I'll run through.
8 goals, 12-60 to 8 goals, 6-54. So only a goal separated it. You had the goal kickers for Gold Coast, Roses 2, Ainsworth 2, Rowell 1. For Adelaide, Rochelle 3, Rankin 2, Keys 2. Disposals for Gold Coast, 35 Flanders, Anderson 35, Rowell 29. For Adelaide, you had Crouch with 33, Laird 30, Dawson 26. Now that was... Yeah, like you said, conditions were absolutely poor.
Well, you can see, I think it was in that third quarter, it was really hard to see. But, it was 58-22 at some stage in that last quarter. Adelaide did not rock up. I know they didn't have their man Tex, but that has nothing to do, like a lot of hype from Adelaide. Like I
think I'm going to have to put an apology out too for that one.
Oh, well, it's a bit early, but they just didn't rock up.
No.
Flanders, Anderson, Rao, Miller, this is a serious midfield. And the only thing I'm not getting too carried away with Gold Coast is that historically they get a lot of home games early.
Yeah.
So they could be well and truly, 4 and 5 afterwards. But they beat a serious side. They beat, what we thought was going to be a serious side in Adelaide, and they were too good. Adelaide did come back. Rishkatelli was awesome. But yeah, I think that's a good win. Two from 2.
Who'd you call him? Rishkatelli?
What's his name?
Rochelle.
Yeah. Rishkatelli did.
I was going to say, I was like, there's a Rishkatelli who played like ages ago. Who was that?
He did. Rishkatelli played for Brisbane and Gold Coast.
Hold on. So you said Flanders, Anderson and Rowell are good. You're also missing the fact that you've got Powell and Took Miller.
I said Miller when I first said this.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Tried to correct you.
What are we correcting here? I actually thought they were good. I thought they were really good. I thought their attitude was fantastic to watch.
I think it's just good for Gold Coast to be put on the map a bit in the AFL.
Bit of relevance. But as I said, we've seen this before. I'm not count my chickens yet with them. I want to see them at the halfway point.
So that's how I look at Essendon this year.
Yeah, fair enough.
Silly sort of outlook, but it's the same thing. There's a lot of hype. Hype will only show once you're halfway through the season and really clear. But, last year for Carlton...
Premiership favourites.
All right, that brings us to Melbourne versus the Western Bulldogs. Melbourne getting up 16 goals, 13 points, 109 to Bulldogs, 9 goals, 10-64. Goal kickers, Van Rooyen 3, Chandler 3, Pickett 2. Electrifying goals, might I add, by Pickett 2. Kind of rhymed. Disposals, Clayton Oliver 35, Christian Petrarca 29, Gawn 26. Gawny with the disposals, mate. Getting the ball. You had goal scorers for Doggies. Ugle-Hagan 2, West 1, Waitman 1. Disposal getters, Liberatore 32, Trelaw 31, Johannesen 26. So obviously Melbourne getting up, taking it out pretty easily. They were down at the start. First quarter was a bit slow for them.
You were telling me before the game started, you had a feeling that you hadn't rated, because you haven't rated Melbourne throughout this whole time. Very worried about them, and they got the jump. It was like 4-1 at the start. The Bulldogs have so many issues. They are just a nothing football side. But I want to touch on. They have this. I keep hearing how good this list is. And every time they have one good year where they're okay, and then the rest they're shit.
Can we be honest? If you're a Doggy supporter, you won a premiership out of sheer determination,
Yep.
luck. I mean, finishing 8th and then coming out and winning a granny. I mean, you can't, like, I don't see them.
I think they got.
I think
this is where I think the lists, the Bulldogs always get overrated because they won that flag, and they haven't won a flag. Well, I think it'd been 50 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're never going to get rid of their coach because they probably won't win another one for another 50 years. So they may as well go with the one who won. They've never had a good key to forward line. They've never had a good key back line since I've been watching them. They are putrid. Their midfielders are probably the worst defensive players I've ever seen. Bontempelli, Treloar. I'm not saying they are as good offensively as anyone else. They are fucking horrible going two ways. When are people going to wake up to this? And Melbourne weren't like that. They had this awesome game plan.
No.
I will, though. Well done, Clayton Oliver. He's copped a lot of shit. I think we called him a pig on air. 35 touches.
Did we call it? No, I don't think we did. We said he just needs to get his head in the game. Clearly.
No, when he took his top off in the Sydney one, I called him a pig. 35 touches, and he set up 3 crucial goals in that second half. Petrarca was absolutely sensational. We learned more about the Bulldogs in this game, not Melbourne, because I didn't see anything that Melbourne, against the better sides, they're going to be awesome. Dogs are in big fucking trouble. They are in big trouble. Their forward line shit, their back line shit, and their fucking midfielders don't run two ways. Yeah,
well, I tipped Melbourne up to the Demons to get up. It didn't surprise me that they won in the end. It showed a lot about the Doggies. I thought the Doggies would have taken it a bit more, taken them closer, but Melbourne were just too good in the end.
Just a limp effort.
Yeah.
Absolute limp effort.
That brings us to, I think this is going to be the second last game of the round. I thought there was some random sound there. Port Adelaide versus West Coast Eagles. Port Adelaide 120, 16 goals, 24 points to West Coast 70, 10 goals, 10 behinds. Goal kickers, Dixon 3, Soldo 2, Rosie 2, disposals, Rosie 27, Butters 27, Wines 23. Disposals for the West Coast Eagles, pretty light on. Yeo, how do you pronounce his name? Yeah. I mean, he
Elliot
goes,
Yeo.
yeah.
No, sorry, Elliot Yeo.
Elliot Yeo.
Sorry,
yeah, I was
guys.
going to say. He had 20, Jaden Hunt 20, McGovern 19. So,
I mean, there was no surprise in this game. It was great to see Charlie Dixon come back. I know it's against West Coast. He kicked 3 goals, really, really gives them that, that central target. But it was the stats. 356 disposals to 291. They were all over him. But how's this, Josh? I know you ran through the touches. Rosie, 27. Butters, 27.
Yeah, it's good.
Wines, Burton, 22. Francis Horn had 20. Like, that's more than anyone on West Coast had. They were just all over him. There was nothing really to ride home against this game. Port did what they had to do. Looked really good doing it. And West Coast... North Melbourne, see, the difference between West Coast and North Melbourne, it looked like, okay, you can see there's a light at the tunnel here. Let's keep a couple of good, we're a really young side. This West Coast side still has older players.
Mate, they're in all sorts.
Could they get worse?
Could you get relegated from the AFL for being so shit?
How does Adam Simpson still have a fucking job?
But seriously, this team is so bad.
This is serious. How can you win 2 wooden spoons
and still be there?
After you're a premier, you were making the finals the year before that.
Difference between, you look at a team like West Coast and North. What is West Coast? Harley Reid? Sorry. I mean, the hype.
There is nothing to like about West Coast.
It's going to be hard for Harley to come into such a crap squad and be expected. Well, it's almost like being...
when Francis Horn joined North, that's why he left.
Yeah.
Because it was shit atmosphere. Now he's gone to Port Adelaide and, North, I think, will figure it out in the next 5 years. But this game, there was... That's it.
But what I'm saying is a lot of changes for North, a lot of upside for North because they brought it
none for West Coast.
No,
and Port kicked 16-24.
It was one. It's not like they didn't. They kicked 40 scoring attempts.
They did more. They kicked more points than the total of West Coast score. They had 24 points. West Coast had 20 scoring shots. Yeah. They did everything they can to keep them in this game.
It was almost like that. Like, guys, can you just kick a point?
There's
like,
not. It is going to be a very, very hard. This could be one of the worst. They might not win a game.
Has that ever happened?
I don't know.
I'm throwing a really.
I'm going to investigate that.
If anyone knows,
if anyone knows, has any team gone not won a game for the whole year?
Be freaking.
It hasn't happened in the AFL era.
Surely not.
It hasn't happened in the AFL era. Maybe in those shortened years during the wars, like 1900s, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
But never.
Not
I've never. It's definitely not happened in the AFL era. That's
well,
for sure.
I know that West Coast were on track to do that last year, and then they won. Remember that was like
they won a couple. They won a couple of games.
Yeah,
though.
they did, but they won in the end. But
I can't see them winning. I can't see them winning one.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. Shocking year ahead for them. I feel for their players. That brings us to the last game of the round. Thank you for everyone who's still here. Fremantle versus Brisbane. Fremantle 93. Couldn't even get that out. To Brisbane 70. The upset of the round. I would have to say, definitely a big upset. And
they were 4 goals up.
I'm just going to run through it.
4 goals up. Again. Brisbane, what are we doing?
All right, you had 14 goals and 9, so pretty straight shooting from Fremantle. Brisbane 10-10. You had goal scorers. For Freo, you had Amos with 4, Tracy, 3, Jackson 2, Sarong 46 disposals. Credit to him. That's the most all-time for a Fremantle Docker. So well done. Big round of applause for him. You had Luke Ryan with 33, Brayshaw 32. Goal scorers for Brisbane, Hipwood 3, Danaher 3, Bailey 2. So you got their 2 key forwards kicking, a bag each. Disposals, you had Dunkley 26, Lyons 25, McCluggage 23. So a big hole with a hamstring strain with Lockie Neal out of the game. So don't know how long he's going to be out, but that really showed me.
They were really missing him.
He's their MVP. When they don't have him in, it's a really harsh call.
They're just like hitting. It's like Dacos last year when he went out for a few games and Collingwood struggled. Lockie Neal he doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes, and you can see whether you thought he should have won the Brownlow last year or not. I saw firsthand against the Blues that he was ripping us inside. That was really shown in this game. But what I'm concerned about with Brisbane, this is 2 weeks in a row that they were 8 goals up against us. They were 4 goals up, and then Fremantle kicked 11 of the next 12. So there is a big gap between their best and their worst.
It's like they're taking the foot off the pedal when they're getting a bit up. Like they just, 4 goals isn't a big enough margin.
They didn't win last year. You'd think it'd be the opposite. Collingwood came back in 2023 after a narrow defeat in the prelim final in 2022, and it's like they had a point to prove. Brisbane don't look like they have a point to prove.
Not at all.
And we go look at our Fremantle review. We were not kind to Fremantle. They looked absolutely fantastic. Luke Jackson.
You know what? Everyone in the comments, just give it to us on this because it's fair. It's all fair in love and war. We fucked up.
But do you know what looked awesome? So Sean Darcy going down. Luke Jackson looks like a premier player in the comp. He was clunking everything around the ground. He went forward and kicked goals. He was huge. And now this Fremantle side is on earth. Amos and Tracy just looked absolutely sensational. Sarong was awesome. Fife, it was great to see him get back to a little bit of his form, taking a couple of grabs around the ground. They just played with passion. The one thing I am very concerned about for Fremantle from this game, and
they lost a lot.
Well, that last quarter they were dropping like flies. Who did they lose? So they lost McDonald with a knee, Warner with a concussion, and then Cox with a hamstring. That's not great.
No, it's a costly game to win, and injuries never hurt. You never like to see players go down, especially when they get up against a team that realistically I didn't really know.
Well, they were winning when these players started going down. It was they were done. It's not like these players went when it was game on the line. It's sort of annoying. It's like they wouldn't have come back.
No, and that's the sad thing. So Guys, that is the review. Let's jump into the AFL
Bring the ladder. We'll do the ladder and then we'll have a quick look at, what we've got installed for round 2. It's good to have round 1 back to proper. Do you know what? It just made me realise how much I fucking hated opening round.
You know what? That is so good on all the supporters. Hats off. Round 1, you know what? The AFL have done a good job. They've done what they set out to do. Cheeky buggers is what that is.
Which means they won't change it.
Yeah, no,
they won't change it.
We shouldn't have done that. We all fucked up. We let the system... Anyway, we're going to go there. All right, AFL ladder, GWS on top, Sydney. Now, I mean, look at their percentage, 143, Sydney 141. Your Gold Coast 3rd, Carlton 4th, Port 5th, Freo 6th, the Dons 7th. Let's see how long they can stay there. Melbourne 8th. Geelong 9th, and then everyone outside of the I'm not going to call it the top 9, but everyone outside the 9 hasn't won a game. Yeah. So no real surprise there. West Coast, you know what's funny? West Coast, I mean, down the bottom, no real surprise, but Bulldogs, I could see them being a bottom 4 side.
Surely they get rid of the coach if that happens. I've just taken a couple of look at these games. We're in for a great round 2.
No, we're not telling anyone what the games are.
I'm sure they can look it up. I'm going to look at who's playing next week.
Yeah, but we're doing the preview.
Yeah, we will do the preview, but I'm just going to say who's playing. How good is this for a lineup? St Kilda Collingwood looks great. Adelaide Geelong is, an amazing
Where's
game.
Where's that at?
Adelaide.
Well, that's better.
That's better. North and Fremantle all of a sudden becomes a pretty exciting round 2 clash because North are looking pretty good. Freo have just had a win.
Yep.
Hawthorn and Melbourne on Saturday afternoon at the G. Your boys, Saturday night, Sydney versus the Bombers. The litmus test. That you're playing the best side in the league.
You know what though? I always have a good hunch against Sydney. Now, I don't know how our last 5 games against them have gone, but every time Buddy Franklin used to tear us apart. So I'm just hoping this year we can actually flip the script.
Then I reckon that's going to be
great.
It's going to be a great game. So on a Sunday afternoon, you got Western Bulldogs and the Gold Coast Suns. Dogs need to win in Ballarat. Gold Coast playing well. Then you got Sunday afternoon, Richmond and Port at the MCG. And then the last game is West Coast and the Giants. So especially those first few games is really exciting. And then Brisbane and Carlton have the bye.
It's going to be a good round. It's going to be a very hard round for tipping. I could see last round, I think a lot of people got them pretty...
I think a lot better. I think they did a lot better than the opening round, that's for sure.
100%. That is going to throw some spanners in the work because I just can see the out-of-state games and all the... that's going to be hard. Anyway, we're going to see you in the preview, which will be this Wednesday
But we are doing something special tomorrow.
Yes, we are. We're doing the Geelong Football Club team of the 21st century.
Of the 21st century, we had such a good result. We're trying to make as much content, as we can. I know we haven't done anything for the last 3-4 days. There were reasons for that, but we want to get back to doing... we want to get back to, doing something every day. And, we had such a good response from the Collingwood video and a lot of fun. We're going to do the Geelong team of the 21st century, which is going to be a really good team to actually do.
They're the best team I've watched for my lifetime.
Correct. So that one's going to be, it could be easy.
Them and Hawks.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe even we'll chuck the Hawks in there eventually. If people want the Hawks, let us know. A lot of people have asked us for Geelong because we know a lot of Geelong supporters just due to the fact that our whole family pretty much goes for them.
Why didn't we go for them? We would have had just happiness.
I would have been a lot happier doing this show as well.
I reckon some of my mental demons is because I am a Carlton supporter and I could have been a Geelong supporter.
I agree. I think because Essendon have just been tainted with shit. It's just like it's become the story of my life.
Do you reckon? Maybe wonder if Adam Uze coached Carlton and he came in. He's like, "Why are the wooden spoons up here?" That when he goes into the Richmond, club rooms, like, "Take down the premiumship photos." Well, come to Carlton, mate. See how happy it is. You fucking idiot. So we'll do the Geelong side tomorrow, and then on Wednesday we will be previewing the St Kilda Collingwood game.
Yeah, what a cracker that's going to be. And then Thursday, the schedule. Well, actually, yeah, we'll give. You're right. That's a good idea. Tuesday, Geelong Team of the Century. Wednesday, the preview for the Saints. Collingwood. Thursday is going to be the preview of round two of every
round
other
two.
team. Yep. So, guys, we've got an exciting week of footy. We're going to bring you all the latest AFL news. So everything that happens in the AFL. If you want to jump on our podcast, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and
Ring the fucking bell.
awesome, guys. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Hope you're having a great evening. Catch you later, guys.